Well, let's bring in Arik Rudnitsky, who's project manager at Tel Aviv's University's Konrad Adenauer program for Jewish-Arab cooperation. Now, we just heard from Iris there. Tell us, there have been 3 elections in under a year in Israel. What's different this time around?
These elections, the public has spoken. The Israeli public, regardless of the fact that he is quite tired from being busy with 3 consecutive election campaigns, went out to the ballots and voted. We see that turnout, the national turnout exceeded the 70% for the first time since a couple of years and actually reached the highest peak since the last 20 years. And also, the other good news that in about 1 year from now, Israel was not with the government. We are heading to a new government headed by the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Now, it's not clear at the moment if Benjamin Netanyahu and his right-wing list have a majority in parliament yet. If we end up with a similar situation to the last time, who will be the major players now going forward?
I think that Benjamin Netanyahu has great chances to form the next government. According to the updated polls, he has some 60 seats in the Knesset, which is half in the seats of the Israeli parliament. So he just needs just 1 more seat, and I think this is at reach. He can form a narrow government, and I would guess that maybe Avigdor Liebermann would consider again his thoughts and maybe join a future government headed by Netanyahu. Anyway, I don't think that a government led by Benny Gantz is a viable option as of now, because as we heard and as we saw, the central left camp in the Israeli political map has virtually disappeared and collapsed to only 40 seats in the Knesset.
Do you think there is a chance that Lieberman will work with Benjamin Netanyahu, considering President Reuven Rivlin called the campaign period awful and grubby, and that a power-sharing deal might not be very likely?
Yes, I think, but we need to take into account that election campaign is one thing and the practical politics is another thing. We know that Benjamin Netanyahu and Avigdor Liebermann are used to be working hand in hand together for almost 3 decades. So I think that giving in consideration the current circumstances, I think that they can manage and resolve their obstacles. And maybe Avigdor Liebermann will join forces again with Likud. And of course, we still have to wait and see what will happen when the actual votes will be counted. But I think that the right Jewish Zionist camp in the Knesset has gained a vast winning, and I think that Avigdor Liebermann could join forces again with the Likud and join the future government by Netanyahu.
Okay, Arik Rudnitsky, thank you very much for that. We'll have a much clearer picture in any case in the hours to come.